So one thing you don't get to see a lot is how your character behaves in poor networking conditions, because usually when you play, you're testing in single player or you have no latency. So I've just set it to play as client. And I'm going to assign BP HUD, and this comes from VaultIt. It's going to give us some information in the upper right corner. So we have a ping of 8, which is nothing. Net corrections are not being shown, and we are indeed in multiplayer. So p.netShowCorrections 1. And now that becomes true, which means that if the server corrects our position by making us teleport, otherwise known as desyncing, it will draw a red capsule where we were and a green capsule to where it moved us to. This happens when a large correction occurs. A small correction might feel kind of like you're walking on ice if they constantly happen, or it has a really large threshold. But normally it's a correction you don't notice happening. You might have seen about some commands that simulate latency, simulate packet loss. You don't need any of that. On the wiki, there is a link to a program called Clumsy. Clumsy is free, and this is Clumsy. So ignore this. You just select what you want. Now with the latency, it's not going to give us 50. That's a round trip, so it's going to be more like times, I don't know. It's going to be like 120 or something. We'll just turn it on and see as our ping increases. Okay, exactly 120. Okay, yeah. So now we have 124 latency. Let's ramp that up a lot. It's just going to keep increasing. So I'm going to just vault up here. Now we didn't have any capsules draw, which means it never desynced, which is how I know that VaultIt works in a multiplayer environment. But we can make it desync. We can add 10% packet loss. Now if I just run around, anytime it loses those packets, it's going to desync. And this is also how I know VaultIt correctly handles. We need to get it to trigger as it's losing packet. So that was a big desync, but during the vault, please. Because MoveIt does, there we go. So MoveIt does handle desync with root motion. Sorry, VaultIt does, not MoveIt. So because we have 224 latency and 10% packet loss, we're getting some serious desync. That's a horrible internet connection we have. Now if I just take off the packet drop, and I don't know, it's ramped way up. See how much latency we can get. 820. So even at 820 milliseconds, we're not desyncing. I'm sure if I like collide just right, it will desync a bit with this amount of latency. No, I can't get it to trigger. But now you can see how to test your multiplayer systems and your settings in a multiplayer environment. And this is very important for when we start working on the anti-cheat. So remember this, download Clumsy, install it, use it religiously in your own game development. Without Clumsy, VaultIt would not be what it is. Like, its netcode is next level, and I need an environment to be able to test that in it, to be able to handle all of those situations from. Alright, that concludes this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Download Clumsy. It's free, it's good.